The following is a presentation of Muddy River Sports.
Welcome to another episode of Speak of the Devils, the QHS Football Coaches Show, brought to you by the Range of KC. I'm Muddy River Sports Editor Matt Schuckman, hanging out with Quincy High School football coach Rick Little. It's sweatshirt weather.
It is. I was just going to say that. Like, you can tell the seasons are changing here. You got long sleeves on.
Yeah,
I got long sleeves
to.
on, and and I enjoy. I love the summer, right?
Yeah.
And I love the heat. Sometimes people, in the summer, they're like, "Oh my gosh, it's so hot," and I'm like, I don't forget what that cold feels like. That bitter cold.
Well, we were talking about that. So obviously, when I showed up today to do this, some of your assistants were outside. Practice was wrapping up and that kind of stuff. And Brigham John and I were talking, and he admitted, because he had a stocking cap on today at practice. I said, it's not that cold, and he admitted, he's soft.
Okay.
And we talked about how maybe some of the coldest weather you can feel, like just being in a field, is spring baseball.
Yeah, and you're probably not wrong there.
Those late March games with the wind blowing.
Well, yes, they're probably not wrong there. I know this is good memories, but I remember being a fifth grade manager for Jim Unruh's, Carlos Blue is where it all started. And my parents were always great. I mean, they always gave me what I needed, type thing. But we had some playoff games when I was, the ball boy, and I guess I forgot to bring the extra stuff. So I'd have the playoff shirt on and short sleeve, and it's like, it is cold out here, to the point where fans be giving me their coach, but I've had some cold playoff games.
Yes.
Which is a great feeling there too.
I've covered playoff games in the snow.
Yes. Yeah.
And obviously I think everybody's played at some point really rainy or snowy or just bitter cold.
Well, I think too, the thing that, I think people do, when I have to get on the kids sometimes, because I'm like, when it's the first kind of cold, they're all bundled up and they can barely move, and it drives me crazy because I'm like, and I get it. I mean, they want to be prepared, and they're the ones that got to be out. Well, us too,
right?
But they've got to be able to move, right? Yeah. And so, the ability to, I think that's, as a player, especially college, it was one of those that where I kind of liked the cold and not having the sleeves on, because you knew you're gonna be running around, you were gonna get warm.
Yeah, exactly.
It wasn't so much that the guys that come overdressed.
Let's be real. There's also something sort of macho. If you show up when it's cold outside and somebody's got long sleeves on and they've got the little under their helmet, they've got the a stocking cap on or something, and you show up and you've got no sleeves on, and there's something a little macho about, look, I can handle it.
There is, but I'm not so macho that I don't use my head. Like, I think if I'm not playing, right? If I know, like, if I'm fully playing, I'm good to go here. I don't need a lot of clothes. But yes, no question.
If I'm just standing on the sideline,
you better believe I'm bundled up.
Yeah, yes. Exactly. So that got me thinking now that just as we started talking here about some of the worst weather I've covered a game in over the last 30 years.
Okay.
And there's a couple that pop immediately to mind. Can you think of one, a football game or you've coached?
I can think of a couple. And it's funny that we played Geneseo this week because it was, I'll forever, and I mean this, hopefully they're all watching the seniors of that COVID year that played in the spring.
Yeah.
Because if there was a group to go through that with, that was the best group mentally. The Clay Hansons, Jack and Quinn Ruperts.
Oh yeah.
Isaac Drews. I mean, it didn't go great for us that year.
No, but they went through it in all sports too.
Yes. Well, so what I'm getting at is, so we go to Geneseo. All right, we go to Geneseo. It was on a Saturday, and I mean, this is no lie. From the time
that would have been like late March, right?
Late March.
Yeah.
From the time I got here. And we moved the game to Saturday because of potential lightning on Friday.
Okay.
And of course it doesn't lightning. At least not here, and it doesn't.
Right.
So by the time I wake up till I get on the bus, and it's just raining, just cats and dogs.
Okay.
To the time the prelim games played, to the time the varsity games played, all throughout the game. I mean, cats and dogs, right? Yeah. Miserable. And then get on the bus. And then just because, Mother Nature can be really funny like this, rains the whole way there, or whole way back. And then bus pulls into Quincy. We get off, and guess what happens? It stops raining.
It stops raining.
So from the time we left to the time we got back in Quincy and parked the bus, it stopped raining. The other one would have been, so this would have been 2000, 2000. Malik Robbins would have been a sophomore, so that would have been 2009. Okay, 2010.
No, excuse me.
2011.
2013 was his senior
2011 played at Hannibal, lost in triple overtime, and don't get me started there. And
yes.
And it rained
the whole time,
the whole
game. I remember the 2003 playoff game at East St. Louis, and it rained the entire day. And I still remember Alex Douglas after the game. I felt for the guy because he had played his butt off, and again, he was going against East St. Louis's defense. Yeah. But you could the rain's just dripping off of him. It was brutal.
Well, so fun fact, I'm sure you were probably dry in the booth.
I was.
I actually went to that game too. I was a head coach at Hamilton. Wanted to support those guys. And so it came when I also went to the game, so I remember that vividly. But like I said, my memory does serve me right. You were in a covered.
I was in the press box because we did that game on the radio. Because that's when obviously I was back doing radio then. And
well, you have the face for radio.
I do, yes. That's why back in the day, and when we were sitting here preparing for the show, we were talking about some of the photos that are blown up here in the football facility. And we were talking about the 2015 team and the game against QND, and Ben Marth and I did that game on television.
Yeah.
He has a face for television. I don't.
Well, and now I feel bad because you're supposed to say it about yourself, but no.
No, trust me, I'm good with not being on.
But
TV.
you would have to get I don't want to get started here, but I've already threw compliments on you all the time.
You don't need to do any of that.
No, but no, then you have the face for radio. Just stick to it.
Yeah, there you go. But speaking of the sweatshirt weather and stuff, it's week 9, and it should be getting chillier. It should be getting, because that also means games get more important. And this is an important week for you guys playing Geneseo at home.
It is, because we haven't, maybe by design, I'm not talking about football right now, because it wasn't, last week, obviously before we talk about Geneseo, then we got to talk about Sterling, right?
I was going to get to that.
Yeah, and so, this is a huge game for us, and huge for so many reasons. Like, just walking out the practice field with the guys. I love sports. I love the psyche of sports.
Yeah,
I love. I pride myself, and I don't know how good I am at it, but I pride myself in trying to be mentally tough. I mentally don't let things control me, and there's routine. And so what am I getting at? I'm getting at, we dropped one last week. And so even coming back in here on Sunday, watching film, there's a different mood, there's a different vibe with the kids when things don't go our way. And I don't mean like that as in an immature baby sense. I mean, you just, winning cures all wounds, like we talk about all the time,
without a doubt.
And so it's super important to make sure that we acknowledge what happened. We work on why that happened, but like to be able to then mentally get back and like, okay, guys, we have to go attack this team, and here's why we win, here's why we don't, right? But just be honest with ourselves. But knowing that really sports is about taking advantage of opportunities, and so I'm not talking anything specific, but that mentally us being prepared and having that attitude of winning is such a big deal.
This was going to be a big game no matter what. And week 9 always is. Get you ready for the playoffs. But when you lose on the road at Sterling last week, 38-17, get shut out in the second half, it really kind of heightens this week and makes you go, okay, we gotta make sure this doesn't happen again. Yeah. And could you sense that from your guys on the bus on the way home, that it was like, okay, we can't let this happen again?
Yeah, well, no doubt. But I think there is just that, frustration that takes place. I don't know how healthy this is. And I probably speak for most coaches and players alike. But, where you find out in those moments, and I don't even like to admit this because I don't know how healthy it is, but that you hate losing more than you like winning. And you hear that a lot. You
do.
And when I hear that, sometimes I'm like, well, okay. Don't ever not compete because of you're fearful of what the outcome can be. So I'm always really careful with that. Like, okay, great, we don't like it, we acknowledge that, but don't ever dare to dream or not dream or go chase it because you're afraid.
You don't want to be scared to lose.
No.
You can hate losing,
yes,
but don't be scared to lose,
and
because then you then you're almost scared to win. Then,
Right, right. Well, yeah, you play not to lose instead of win. And I know
Yes.
people at home like, man, they're talking a bunch of gibberish, but
it's true.
But it's so true. It's so true.
really
Like
is.
you got to put it out there, and you got to take advantage of opportunities. Just like I talked about how we win the game. But yeah, I could really do this all day. Just
Yeah, we could have a
just
complete
mentally-
psychological approach to sports. We could do the entire show on that.
Well, it is, and like sometimes even like the Michael Jordan games, right?
Yeah.
The games where people think, what am I talking about? Well, when you're sick and you don't feel good, like why do sometimes things work out? Like I can give you lots of examples of even my best games as an athlete of why, I don't know why, but that was not supposed to be a good game.
Yeah.
And it was.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because there's so many other factors
Yep.
coming into play. So. Yeah, lots of mental stuff going on here.
But things didn't go your way last week at Sterling. How do you rebound from that? How do you take that and go, okay, guys, we got to get better because of this, and this?
Yeah, I think even looking at that game, so you notice how much I'm trying to avoid talking about it.
And I'm not bringing up specifics for you.
No, I want to talk about it. But if you statistically look at that game,
Yeah.
like we had 250 yards of offense in the first half.
Yeah.
Offensive in the second half, we had good numbers. It didn't make sense of why it didn't work.
Yeah.
Right. And so, turnovers are a big thing. We had a couple of those in the second half. I think you got to credit Sterling. You have to credit the opponent, like you do. But yeah, I mean, there's just opportunities that we had that we didn't capitalize on in the red zone, and I think they found some things too. Like, part of coaching is as well, like you find kind of what's working, and you try to mask that you're trying to get there all the time. You know what I mean, from the oppositional standpoint. But yeah, we got to do a better job of being opportunistic, scoring in the red zone.
Yeah.
We've got to get stops. And in the second half we didn't get enough stops, and then on top of it we weren't scoring. Right. So it was just really the perfect storm, but really disappointing. I'm not gonna not say that, right? An opportunity for us to help our playoff seeding, and that's why this week's so big.
Yep.
But at the end of the day, you have to put it behind you.
Yes.
You have to put it behind you, and now we focus on the task at hand.
Well, and last week I thought illustrated as well as any game this year maybe how momentum plays a factor. Sterling scores late in the first half, scores to start the second half, and suddenly they've got all the momentum, and you couldn't get it back.
Couldn't get it back, and yeah, I mean it's like I said, sometimes even playing the game back through your head, it's like, well, we were able to move the football and we're able to do these things, but you gotta punch, counter punch, like you gotta be able to get the stops, and you got to be able to then be good in special teams, and don't let there be lost yards. And I love the game from a standpoint of the strategy of, like, people think, what happened? Well, a lot,
right.
You know what I mean? And I say that not like we're a bad football team, but yeah, a lot of things happened. You got to be great in every area, and it's so bizarre and strange too, because there's 11 guys out in every unit. So when you think about momentum, like, was everyone in a bad mood right now? What I mean? Has everyone got their dauber down?
Right.
But sometimes that's the case. You know what I mean?
Sometimes it's the case, and sometimes it could be 2 or 3 guys get their dauber down, and then it impacts everyone else.
Everything.
It's
everything.
It's not always everybody's dismayed.
No.
But momentum's a tricky thing, and it can come and go in a blink.
It's amazing. It really is. Like I said, I'd say it's amazing when things work out our way. It feels better, amazing. But yeah, like we got to be better, and we just got to be better in every area. Because like I said, I can't sit there and we ran for over 100 yards. We threw for a bunch of yards. We did a lot of things, but we got to be better to score in the red zone, to capitalize, to put pressure on them, to flip that momentum on its head, and give us a better opportunity in the end.
Well, you got an opportunity this week to build some momentum, again, that word, for the postseason. Be prepared for the postseason as you take on Geneseo at Flint Stadium right here at home Friday night. We'll talk about that when we come back and talk about week 9 and getting prepared for what's ahead as well.
Sounds good.
Let's do that. We'll be right back with more of Speak of the Devils, the QHS Football Coaches Show, brought to you by the Range at KC.
It is fall, there's a chill in the air, there's also going to be footballs in the air here at the range. 29 TVs outside, 13 TVs inside, and we're going to have all of your NFL games. We're also going to have local games, so if you want to catch some high school or college games, you come here. Also, you asked for it, we brought it. Blue Moon is now on tap. And don't forget, you can always rent out our patio, private, just for you right here at the range.
Welcome back to Speak of the Devils, the QHS Football Coaches Show, brought to you by the Range at KC. We are hanging out in the Quincy High School locker room like we do every week. I look around here and know what the old locker room was, where the picture on the wall that we were talking about earlier was taken. And these kids are lucky. Yeah, this is their football home.
Yes,
this is pretty cool.
Yeah, they are so lucky, and I mean, like really, I mean, I know we've got the camera pointed this way all the time, which is probably a bad thing. But
if I was better at trying to flip stuff and
no, I get it.
I'm not
That's
technologically sound when it comes to running the videos.
No, keep the audience guessing here. But no, I mean they are so lucky. So I mean, so very fortunate. Like I tell people all the time, like it's more than we deserve, and we have so many great people in this community that step up and obviously able to get this done. But what I love about it is if I mean there can't be a kid in our program that wonders about does the community care, do the coaches care?
Yeah.
Because we're cleaning, we're doing all sorts of vacuuming as we before we even ran the show here.
Well, I know we got here to set up and get ready for the show, and Mikey Klotz was in here vacuuming. I mean, and it's not the only one. You and I have talked about this. All your coaches pitch in to keep this place clean, to keep it the way it looking respectable and nice and the whole bit. I mean, it's not just. You're not expecting somebody else to come in and do your work for you.
No.
All your coaches pitch in and do the work.
No, and we appreciate that. And I think it's like anything else. Is what I was taught as a young age. Like the things that you have to work for, you respect and you take care of, right? And so I think our kids though they see it too. They see that obviously coaches work and do the things that they're doing. And like I said, they're so fortunate to have what they have, and I mean it. I feel that like they truly do respect that.
I do too.
And so
I agree.
That's a really cool feeling that to feel that they feel that and that they reciprocate it back.
And the reason I went that route to start this segment was you're going to be in here Friday night taking on Geneseo Week 9, last home game. We'll see what the playoffs bring, obviously. What will pregame be like in here on Friday night?
Yeah,
fiery.
I mean, so this is. I think. I mean, it's not about me. We say that all the time. Well, I say that all the time because it's not. But I'm only me, right? So I only know me. I only know my experience. But like, I love it. I absolutely love like the competition piece. But there's times like when you're getting ready or it's a big game. Like it's crazy. I mean, people know because they probably feel similar. But when there's a big moment, like your body does prepare you for that, right? Yep. And so the kids know, like, don't ask coach this. He's not like, I love him. I'm not mad at them, but it's like, But don't come to you at 4:30 on game night, especially on this week going, hey coach, I can't find my knee pad. No.
You got an extra one?
Well, I always help, but I mean,
know,
it's just, and other coaches too, but for me, it just, like when I say it's a great feeling, it is and it isn't. Sometimes it's a terrible feeling. It's an awful feeling.
Yeah.
But I love the feeling of what it feels like to compete and knowing there's a lot at stake. And we know that will be the case on Friday. And, it sets the tone. It sets the tone for what's to come. And then, the game's fun. And then obviously after the game, there's a sense of, relief, like you just took that big exam, like when I was in college and it was like, I'm worried all week about it. And then just to finally take it feels like you're 100 pounds lighter. So it's going to be intense and fiery and certainly, the kids will.
Obviously you give a pregame speech in here. And I know at times you've had other people come in and help out with that.
Yeah.
Any chance this Friday night, not to give it too much away, any chance you bring somebody in to fire them up this week?
Yeah, so we'll see. Sometimes that's last, like when I say last minute, it really is because not like literally last minute, but like that day typically because everybody's busy and things are going their way. And sometimes it's just nice to have a change of pace, but I'm always giving, my speech, too. So that's there, and a lot of times all the time it's not prepared. Like it's just here it is.
I'm glad to hear that because I think if you go and I've talked to groups about this, I've been asked to speak to classes and stuff. I don't prepare. Even when I was the best man in my buddy Rabbi's wedding, I did not write my best man speech. I just okay, give me the microphone, and here we go.
Well, and so this is really interesting because I'm the same way. Like even like at banquets and stuff, I'm just rambling, and people know that I love to talk. And so, but I tell people all the time, like, and it gets emotional because there's so much. Like at the end, it's really emotional.
Yeah.
But to me, like that is probably not. We're probably the minority in that.
I'm sure we are.
Because to me, it's always about when I know something well. It's just about telling the story.
Yeah.
It's just about, and you know as well as anybody because that's what you do.
Yeah.
But to me, it's about telling the story, and then when I know it really well, it's easy. It's easy, and so I think sometimes when I do prepare, like with a pregame speech or a speech for somebody, it almost kind of goes the other way. You know, it feels too scripted.
Well, it's kind of one of those where you want to have a thought in your head, like, okay, I want to make sure I deliver this point. Mm-hmm. But how you get to that point, what you say after delivering that point, like all those things, it's got to come from the heart. And especially on a game like this, like if you get up in front of your guys on Friday night with a scripted, it's not going to resonate.
And it's for each his own, right? I don't want to. If everybody does that, it's like you're not doing it wrong.
No,
but for me, it is about like and the kids know. I mean, they know, and I don't know if it's right or wrong. It's just how we do it. It's how I do it, and it's just something that just comes out, you know. And then when it comes out, it usually works perfect. I mean, I don't know if it's perfect, but it definitely flows. You know?
Yes.
So that's interesting because. I mean, it doesn't surprise me because this is what you do too.
Yeah. But, it doesn't surprise me because, you know, we've done this for a lot of years. I mean, we're doing it this year on video, but think of all the conversations we've had about football and about kids. Over the last 19 years. 19. That still boggles my mind.
And for us, it's actually longer.
It is.
My West Hancock days and stuff. But yeah, it's crazy. It is. It is nuts.
But Geneseo on Friday night, obviously sitting at 5-3 going in there. Playoff spots secure. You got enough playoff points and all that. You don't have to worry about being one of those 5-4 teams if something would happen Friday night that doesn't go your way.
Well, I don't tell the kids that.
I know, but I'm speaking out loud. Right. So you can focus on Friday night, not worry about are we going to get in or not type of thing. Yeah. You know, but the difference between a 5-4 team and a 6-3 team in terms of seeding is huge.
It's huge.
And so this game is hugely important.
It is huge, and we said it a couple weeks ago. Going into Sterling.
Yeah.
That hey, this playoffs have started now,
right?
Because they truly do, and obviously didn't go our way week one. But I also told them after the game, and again, not because it is important, right? It's a game. It's just a game we're playing, but I'm like, fellas, okay, like I want to think positive all the time. So even after it doesn't go our way Friday, when we sit there and we're talking, and again, not scripted, it's like, well, fellas, listen. In any great story, there's adversity. Yep. In any great, anything we're doing, there's got to be some troubled waters. There's got to be some speed bumps because otherwise, it's fun, but it's like, well, that's not a good story. They just went and kicked butt every week, and that's the way it was. And so this is our adversity. This is, obviously the Moline week one. This game is the adversity, and it's the opportunity to overcome that, which really pumps me up.
Think how good the story is going to be on Friday night if they do overcome adversity and take care of business and walk out of here on their final, especially for the seniors, on the final home game of the regular season with a win.
Yeah, and I also tell them, like, guys, my words aren't magic. You know what I mean? Yeah. You have to go out and put the sweat equity in it. You got to be prepared. You got to know where to line up. You got to know, you got to take advantage of that scoop and score opportunity. You got to make the catch. All these things, all these things that happen. So, but you got to think that way. You've got to see it before it happens, and that way the next time's not the first time.
Geneseo does present some interesting issues, challenges, however you want to phrase that, with the way they run their offense, with the scheme they use, and they're going to be a good, solid football team on top of all that. Yeah. So you have to be sound on Friday night.
We do, and I think for me, and this is any game. This isn't giving secrets away, but when you play these types of offense, you have to make them chase you. You know what I mean? And I said these magic words against Moline this year, and that didn't happen, right?
Yeah.
But I said them last year, and it did happen, right? You make them chase. You make them chase, okay? Because if they want to stay in what they do, and they want to take time off the clock and take the air out of the ball and be. We always want to be physical, but that's what they want.
They'll run a formation, a double wing type of formation, And again, yeah, they want to control the clock, control the flow of the game, and run the ball.
Yeah, and I mean it's no
sound, secret.
No, it's a sound method. I mean, if you're moving people off the ball and you're doing things, and you can control a lot of things, that way. So, but yeah, for us, we know we got to be opportunistic, and like I said, it's always about us, and I say that it doesn't sound arrogant. I hope it doesn't, but it's about what we do, right? Are we putting points on the board? Are we making them chase us? Are we playing sound defense? Because this has been a good week of practice as far as like when you play teams like this. It's about being gap sound and smart. Like you have to. You can't go chasing things that you think you see. You know what I mean? You have to be sound. Have gap integrity, and that's something that we've worked really hard on this week. And again, all that being said, this goes back to like my Carthage days. Like I'm sure every team did that. Hey, this is what they're going to do. Then they're going to be here. They only run 6 plays or whatever they would say.
Right.
But at the end of the day, it's still about okay. Now you got to match them physically. Now you have to make sure that because they're going to come off the ball and be really really good that way. So it's not as easy as just gap integrity. You have to have the other things too. But I think we do have some guys that combat that pretty well.
Well, it's going to be interesting. 7 o'clock or 7:15. I don't know. Somewhere right around it. We'll see. It is.
What time's Murder, She Wrote start?
Are you doing senior night stuff this Friday? Right.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
So maybe 9 o'clock kickoff.
Well, I don't know. Let's not talk. I think
I'm joking.
They've done better. And it's not.
Everything's been better about
Yeah, and it's not intentional. I mean, there's a lot of kids to celebrate, and that's a great thing.
Oh, without a doubt.
But and I think they've done much better of late. So we'll get there close.
But regardless of what time you kick off, it's going to be a whale of a game and a big boost for your guys heading into the postseason.
Yeah, and we talked about it like this, today, even every day really. But fellas, you got to put yourself in there. And here I go with my mental approach again. But you got to put yourself there mentally. And for people watching at home thinking, why are they talking about all this? Well, just get it out there, right? So, it's
part of the game.
Well, and we lost to Sterling. Geneseo beat Sterling.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so from a kid's mind, sometimes it's like, oh my gosh, this is immovable. Yeah. And that's where no sir, no. That's not how it works. You got to show up, you got to be ready to go and take advantage of opportunities. I feel like I've said a lot of times here on this show, but that'll be the plan going into the game.
Big opportunity on Friday night. But we got some other stuff to talk about. And I think segment 3 this week, we're just going to do random questions back and forth.
Yeah, I know we're going to break, but did you watch Murder, She Wrote?
Yes.
Okay, well, we'll probably get to some of that.
We might that. I've got. Okay, I just had a question pop in my head, so we'll save that. That's a good thing. Thank you. You just helped me out there. Awesome. Well, when we come back, we'll do more of that and talk some football right here on the last part of Speak of the Devils, the QHS Football Coaches Show, brought to you by the Range of KC.
It is fall, there's a chill in the air, there's also going to be footballs in the air here at the range. 29 TVs outside, 13 TVs inside, and we're going to have all of your NFL games. We're also going to have local games, so if you want to catch some high school or college games, you come here. Also, you asked for it, we brought it. Blue Moon is now on tap. And don't forget, you can always rent out our patio, private, just for you right here at the range.
Welcome back to Speak of the Devils, the QHS Football Coaches Show, brought to you by the Range of KC. I'm Matt Schuckman. He's Rick Little. We are into week 9. There's a lot going on, though. We've got a lot of volleyball postseason, soccer postseason. Hunting season's going on. There's a lot of other things going on. And in your life, you've got one big thing that's going on that I've seen play out week after week after week here. So that's where I'm going to start our random question segment here. Your son Bryson, sophomore, football player and all that, is in driver's ed.
Yes.
And a lot of times after practice, you have to run him home, and he drives the truck.
Yep.
Got to give him, okay, this is your third kid to go through driver's ed.
Yes.
How's he compared to the other two as far as a driver so far?
What a great question. A great question. So he is. I don't know. He's got. I'm gonna embarrass him here, but
Well, isn't that part of the fun?
that's part of the fun.
Yeah.
He's always had this like ridiculous sense of direction.
Okay.
So it has nothing to do with physically driving, but mine has not always been good. But there's times like, we'll go back home, visit my parents and stuff. My dad has 4-wheelers and stuff, and we'd be in these back forest areas, and I'm thinking like, I know how to get there. And he's like, Dad, we went this way. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And even from a really young age. So
he just remembers how to
oh my
get
God.
places.
It's really amazing. It's amazing, even at a young age.
Okay.
So I'm gonna say another fun fact. So at 4 years old, he could ride a bike. 4 years old, no training wheels.
No
nothing.
training wheels. Wow.
So even like going through.
That's impressive.
Very impressive. So what am I getting at? I'm getting to the driving part. But even when he would go through the neighborhood and stuff, people are like so when you see a 4-year-old riding a bicycle without training wheels, without nothing, really impressive. But I will say it's weird, right? Because the other two, Braden and Brooklyn, can now drive and they're just fine. But I'm gonna give Bryson the nod. Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, it doesn't take him long to like.
He looks comfortable just getting in the truck and seeing him pull out of the parking lot, and he just looks comfortable. He's not freaking out or anything.
No, cautious, but very like things. He gets things quick.
Okay, you brought up directions and him being able to figure out. Are you a direction guy where you go, okay, you're going to go 12 blocks on this street, and then you're going to make a left onto Main Street, and then you're going to make a right onto or are you, hey, get on this street, when you get to the McDonald's, turn right, when you get to this, turn left. How are you when it comes to directions?
That's so cool, or not cool, but so neat that you've answered, because, so I think I'm, oh gosh, so if there's an A or B, if the first one, probably the first one you went with A.
So you'll give directions as in, take this street until you get to this street, then turn right on this street.
Because I think the key in giving directions is I don't want to give you too many.
Okay.
Right? So, you find that McDonald's that's on the right, and then you're going to take the next left, and then you're going to find that, I think that's really confuses like the person giving directions to. But when you talk about directions, here's what's funny. So my brother Tom, we were talking about this one time. Speaking of directions, how things have changed so much. So like even my kids, and I try to explain this to them sometimes, that back in my day, it was literally like getting a map out.
Oh,
right?
yes.
And I know people
No
that
doubt.
are my age or older know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yep.
But then it was like, then you still had to fight. I mean, I love my mom and dad. They still then would fight about where they turn or where they're supposed to turn.
Yep.
At the same time doing all this. And I remember my brother Tom talking about, he's like, you remember, he went to a program called Boys State. It was like
I remember that.
And him and his cousin Doug Jacob, Grandpa Bowl member.
Yep.
So they had to go to Eastern Illinois in this old beat up car, right? That probably, I'm not sure is going to get there and back.
And they're driving themselves.
Together.
Right.
But like,
because they're 16, 17 at the time.
No GPS.
Right, yeah.
You know what I mean? No, now it's just tap the card, swipe it, whatever, get your gas, whatever.
Yeah.
And like this huge map, and like no cell phones, so like that car's probably going to break down in the next 200 to 500 miles. I'm not sure, give or take.
Yeah.
But we were just kind of talking about like even as a parent, like how like trusting the parents were like. I mean, my parents, Doug's parents were great, but it was like, yep, we'll see you when you get back.
Okay. And maybe my parents were foolish when it came to this, but I remember our junior year when Quincy High School made a run to the state basketball tournament. Mm-hmm. They let me drive my friends in my parents' car, because Lord knows what my car would have made, to Peoria and back to go to a postseason game. Mm-hmm. And it's like, now looking back, it's like, you guys let a group of 16, 17-year-olds get in a car, drive to Peoria. Now, granted, there were 3 or 4 cars that we kind of caravan.
Yeah.
But it's like, you guys were nuts.
Yeah, and I think it's maybe it's us, right? Because as this generation, like my generation now, it's like we did it.
Yeah.
And we were 10 foot tall and bulletproof. Like we didn't think about it.
Right.
You know what I mean? But now looking back, because my kids got all these, there's no way like my kids would make it with this big old huge map.
No, not at all.
No cell phone. You know what I mean? In a beat up vehicle.
Because if something went wrong, you had to go find a gas station and find a payphone.
You did.
And if you, and I can tell you this. So when I was working part time for the Herald Whig, I had a Chevy Blazer. My parents tried to help me get a better vehicle because they knew I was driving to games and stuff.
Yeah.
Well, it broke down one night, and I was coming back from Shelbyville, Missouri, covering the North Shelby basketball tournament championships. And between there and almost to Palmyra, my vehicle broke down.
Yeah.
And I'm out in the middle of nowhere, no cell phone, no nothing. Finally got somebody to pull over and help me, and we got into Palmyra and figured out it would get back to Quincy. Okay, it'll get back to Quincy. Okay. But at that point in time, there's no cell phone to call the office and be like, hey, I'm delayed because my vehicle broke down. And they're on deadline waiting and all this. And so I stopped at a payphone to call them and tell them, hey guys, I'm not going to make it back till this time because here's what happened. No, it's the world is just
crazy.
so
And
totally
I know
different.
we sound 100 years old here, but
we do.
We do. But even like cell phones, right?
Yeah.
I mean, how great they are, and oh my gosh, I can't imagine life without them. But I can also tell you, I feel like I was more relaxed without one, because I feel like when people I say get to me, because no one's getting to me. But I hate. I'm a taskmaster. So if somebody asks me, even if it's a simple thing, if it's a parent that needs something or it's a kid, I cannot not do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I have to do it, right? Because otherwise it's going to be on my mind, and I feel like I have to accommodate, right?
Right. Yeah.
And I say that, so anyway, please ask whenever. But when they could never get to you, right? It was out of sight, out of mind, right? And so it wasn't that I didn't want to help. It was like, I don't know. You know what I mean? And so, and some people may say, what's an easy answer? Turn the phone off. But no, because this is, I won't get into all the stories.
Well, I'll go down that road with you because my parents are in their late 80s. Happy birthday, Mom, by the way. My mom turned 88 this week.
Happy birthday.
So I went over and spent some time with her on her birthday, and my phone was buzzing while we were sitting there. And she's like, do you need to get that? Do you need to work? I'm like, no, Mom, I'm here to spend time with you. And she's like, are you sure? Yes, Mom, it can wait. You know, and that's, I think, the thing that has changed most is most people, if you don't respond quick, well, what's wrong? They haven't gotten back to me.
Yeah.
Well, maybe I'm out hunting. Maybe I'm out fishing. Maybe I'm out in the country where I don't get service.
Yeah.
And I'll get back to you in 4 or 5 hours. And some people freak out over that.
No, they do. And some people freak out. This is a really quick one too. So, we talked about stadiums and stadium chasing and all that.
Yes.
So this would have been years ago. Braden was just a little guy. Oh gosh, what year? I mean, he might have been 8 or 9 years old.
Okay.
So we go out to San Diego, right? And so it was kind of a family vacation. My wife Julie's mom, she went to this. We went to SeaWorld and different things.
Yeah.
But this was like, well, I really want to see this ballpark. So it was kind of and Bryson was itty bitty and Brooklyn was itty bitty. So it was like, well, I really got to go to Petco. I got to go.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, well,
makes sense.
I've got to have. It was like the Cardinals were in town.
Yeah, okay.
Right.
Oh,
so
even better.
I've got to go.
Oh yeah.
And so
Without a
I'm
doubt.
like, okay, well, I got to take him, because I want him. I can't go by myself, And I want somebody to experience this with me. So, great story here. So I'm like, and I got to get the best tickets I've ever got, right? Because I'm not going to be here again.
Yeah.
So we get these great tickets, sitting right behind the Cardinals dugout.
Oh, sweet.
So on the way to the game, though, I'm driving, and I'm like, okay, I forgot my battery charger for my phone.
Okay.
So I'm like, okay, I'm just going to turn my phone off. That way I have enough, because I have the GPS to get back, because I don't know exactly where I'm going.
Okay.
So whatever, watch the game. It's great. It was great. It was awesome seats. Get back to my truck, and turn my phone back on. I have 89 text messages, and I'm like, what is wrong? What is going on?
Yeah.
Well, I guess like Fox Sports Midwest at the time had panned in, because we were right there.
and saw you.
So I was on TV all night long. So people in Quincy, the 9:30 game.
Yeah. That's fantastic.
Yeah, it was crazy. So, but I'm thinking, what is wrong? So it's just one of those things where when you don't have it, like you said, when you don't answer right away, people then think something's wrong, type thing. But a pretty neat story.
Well, so similar story, but when I covered the University of Missouri, there were no cell phones. Okay. Well, if you were in the post-game press conference and stuff, or like when I was covering basketball, you could see me on press row. I kind of stand out, And my brother-in-law would joke about, the width of my shoulders, that they could sell advertising on my back.
There you go.
And stuff. But so the phone calls would come later about that stuff. Hey, we saw you on TV tonight. You were at the game and you were sitting mid-court. And Yeah, that's my job.
Right.
But there was no cell phone to blow up.
Right.
And all that. So you'd get home and kids won't know what this is, but you get home and you'd see, I've got 5 messages on my answering machine.
Yes.
And it would be that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, obviously, it's not like this is groundbreaking stuff, but obviously the technology and things. But
crazy.
just you talking about directions, like kind of how we've all got here. But just
are you good? Are you good if you've been to a place? Hey, I can get back there. I don't need directions. Are you a GPS guy?
I hate to admit it.
You're a GPS guy, aren't you?
No, but that's why. But Bryson's with me. We're good.
Okay.
Right? We're good because he knows it like that.
I need Bryson to go on a road trip with me because he and I would never get lost because I'm that way. So the first time we went to
amazing.
Colorado Springs, I didn't know where I was going. My wife had been there every year of her life because that's where my mother-in-law's from. We're going to her grandmother's house. She didn't know how to get there. So I had to call and find out, hey, where do I drive?
Yeah.
Well, after that, I knew where I was going. And it amazed her the next time we went to Colorado Springs. I was like, oh, yeah, here's where we're going. And she's like, you don't need me to call? I'm like, no, we got it.
Yeah.
And I'm lucky. I picked that up quick. I'm good with directions.
Yeah. Well, I think it's the GPS has probably stunted my development that way.
I tend not to use GPS hardly at all unless I really have to.
I do, just because I feel like I do not want to waste time.
Yeah.
You mean stuff like I made a wrong turn, but it's like, well, I just would have. But I don't know if that's good or bad, but
I'm way too old school at times, and I know it drives my wife nuts. But
hey, good for you though. I mean, it's safe.
Well, and think about it. All my years of covering sports, obviously it started before cell phones, before, like you said, you got to pull out the map.
Yeah.
Well, what's the easiest thing to do when you get to a town and you don't know how to get to the field or the school? One, if it's football, look for the lights.
True.
You see the lights, go in that direction. Very simple.
Yep.
Or stop at a gas station and go, where's the high school?
Yeah.
Because everybody's going to know where the high school is.
Yeah, and we did that
Very
all the time. Like as a kid, I was always asking, where is this and where is that?
Yeah.
But those are like I said, good memories, and obviously people our age that watch know exactly what we're talking about.
Oh, exactly.
And really anybody.
And the kids who watch are going to go,
what are you talking about?
What are you talking about? And that's okay. That's fun though.
Yeah.
Well, and again, Bryson doesn't turn 16 until March, correct?
Correct.
So he doesn't get his license until then. So but I think it's awesome, like when you leave practice. And you just say, hey, you want to drive home? And he doesn't like, oh yeah, I get to drive.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, yeah. And he jumps in the truck and goes.
It's a great experience. And well, my wife's funny because so she is much more cautious than I am.
Okay.
Much more cautious. So we had a JV game at Metamora.
Okay.
And I was able to drive. I couldn't make it at the time the bus left, so I drove and then I brought him back. Well, I told her like, yeah, let him drive back from Metamora, and she's like, you did what? So definitely, he gets more experience with me.
That's good though.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah. Is she the type that when she goes riding with him, white knuckles, like worried the whole time?
Well, and that's really that's even me when I'm driving sometimes, But no. Well, and it's. Well, I'm gonna say this. Her reflexes are super sensitive. So, like, it's like, look out, there's somebody crossing the street. I'm like, honey, they're 50 yards out. You know what I mean? We're good. So definitely that's something that's.
But that's one of the. But going through all of this, and obviously it's your third time going through it. It's just part of the fun of being a dad.
It is. I will say this though, and I mean this goes for any parent that's watching too. I'm sure they know this. Like it is. It does. It's an awesome set. It's an awesome sense of like freedom that they have.
Yeah.
But it's also a worry, right? And until they get to be pretty good. Because let's face it, there's so many things. It's like football, like sports, right? There's until you've been through every situation, right? And you'll never master everything. But until you've been through every situation, you're still learning. You know what I mean? And so as a parent, when you're it's definitely nerve-wracking. Even Bryson or Braden and Brooklyn, who are older, it's still nerve-wracking.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
So, again, a little insight into beyond football.
Yeah.
Because we do. we live what often seems like a sports bubble, but we're just guys.
Just normal.
Just
I
normal.
mean, I think anybody that really knows me knows that.
Yeah.
There's nothing ordinary or special about me. I do think that your ability to do what you do, it makes you special. Like,
Yeah.
as far as, writing and telling the story, that is, it's a gift for sure. But, so there I go. So I just made fun of your radio face, but here I'm giving you compliments of things that you do that are extraordinary.
Well, we're having fun with this. It's been fun all season, and hopefully we got a few more weeks of this.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, that's the plan. Like I said, I believe that. I mean that. Like talking to the team, like that stories good stories have adversity. What I mean? So we don't want to just make it. We don't want to create it unintentionally, but certainly there's opportunities in front of us, and I think this team has a lot of good football left.
Well, we'll see what happens Friday night.
We'll see what happens Friday night.
We'll see you right here at Flint Stadium.
Yeah, for sure. Excited about it. And like I said, the thing too, we hadn't talked much about it. It's okay. Because sometimes when we talk specifics, it gets tough. But the seniors, senior night.
Yeah, my bad.
No.
As we got chatting, I forgot that it is senior night.
No, and I guess what I don't want necessarily even not trying to make anybody's bad. I think the thing that I want to press upon them, and we talk about it, and I think they understand and know it's about the seniors for sure.
Yeah.
But to me, it's about the parents, right?
Yeah.
It's about all the sacrifices that they've made through all these kids' lives, and that's something that sometimes people think that like, well, it's senior night and you just what a distraction. I'm like, I tell them like, take a minute. Like take a minute and make sure you tell whoever packed your parachute, whoever had you and worked with you and all those things, and even if it's a simple stuff, make sure that you look at that and tell them that you thank them. So
good point.
That's
really good because the support that, especially on game night, and it's all week long, every game, every season, all that, but the support that's up in the stands.
Yeah.
Is so vitally important.
It's important.
And you see groups of family, the grandma. I mean, think about it. Your parents came to all of your kids' games.
And
are still doing that.
Yeah. Well, and I think it's just to me that the journey is, and it's so great, but it's so long, right?
Yeah.
I'm thinking of, and I will just because I'm looking at Todd Smith's locker or Ben Shelp's, locker here, like all the youth football practices.
Yeah.
All the camps.
Yeah.
All the junior high, all that stuff. I mean, all the long trips. I mean, and not just those parents. I mean, all the senior parents. Like, and maybe somebody got some guys later, acquired them later throughout their career. But the parents are such a big deal, and the influence that they have is so important. So
senior night, Friday night, that'll be a fun celebration, and then the football game, and could be an even more fun celebration.
Yeah, that's hope. Like I said, we just gotta like make them chase us. And I think if we can do that and we can take advantage of opportunities, I think we'll be pleased on Friday night. Well, we'll see what happens, and then next week we'll break it down and talk about the playoffs. I'm excited for that. Awesome, man. Thank you so much for the time again this week, and appreciate it, Schuck. We'll do it again next week. Yep. For Rick Little, I'm Matt Schuckman. This has been another episode of Speak of the Devils, the QHS Football Coaches Show, brought to you by the Range at KC.
Muddy River Sports. Our home, our sports.